Are you sure? It always gets me. There's like a delay.
And you're like, are you sure? Yeah, we're live.
Yeah, and it always catches that part.
So it makes it fun.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Queers and Soaps. I'm Tommy, and as always, I'm joined by Aaron.
Hello, everyone.
Today, we have a very special episode. We are talking about One Life to Live, and we specifically picked a time period where one of our favorite actresses, the actress formerly known as Farah from Days of Our Lives, who joined One Life to Live in 2007. So we started with her premiere episode, which was a Wednesday. So we watched the remainder of that week. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So roll the credits and we'll jump right into what happened on One Life to Live.
I remember vaguely watching when she first came on One Life to Live and going, oh my gosh, she doesn't have blonde hair.
But Mimi didn't always have blonde hair.
No, but I just remember thinking, like, oh, I love her. Like, she looked good with that, that change of hair color.
Farah always looks good. She could pull off any hairstyle,
That's
any
true.
hair color.
I mean, that's true. She could.
Yeah, I vaguely remember tuning in. I have this weird memory of being at the gym at 6 a.m. and having SoapNet on in front of the treadmill and watching it.
See, I used to, when I didn't have much, I would just leave SoapNet on playing. Like, I just let it play.
Yeah, so full disclosure, was not a ABC soap opera fan. Well, not because I didn't like them, that I was an NBC household. But when SoapNet came along, if there was nothing else on TV, I would just have SoapNet on in the background for like background noise or in the middle of the night. So I tend to pay more attention to what was going on in One Life to Live than the other two soaps. Mostly, I don't know why. I guess the stories just grabbed my attention more. Or maybe I was just a week when that was on.
For ABC went One Life to Live and then All My Children. Like, that's One Life was my fave. All My Children was my second fave. For the life of me, I cannot get into General Hospital. I have tried for decades now, and I just can't do it.
I know. I have the same issue. I have, but I think my longest stretch has been like 3 months, and then I stopped.
And I'm not saying that doesn't say it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just not my cup of tea, I guess.
Yeah, and we're kind of the same, so maybe that's why. But yeah, so back to One Life to Live.
Yes.
We decided to do this also because last week was the 10-year anniversary of the show being abruptly canceled. And we wanted to do something to kind of honor that. And we know that you guys would appreciate us covering the show. So that's also why we decided to do this.
I was excited to cover it because I enjoyed it.
One thing that was a little bit weird with the episodes we watched was the theme song was layered with All My Children theme song.
And it was so funny. That song played and John goes, is that Channel 7? Like, it's so interesting to hear that some people can hear things be like, they associate it with is that Channel 7? Not ABC. Is that Channel 7? Because it sounds like Channel 7. I was like, it is. Good job.
It's like ABC is Channel 7 here too. Is it Channel 7 everywhere?
I think for the most part, yes. It may not be, but for the most part, I think 7 is typically. Like 4 is NBC typically, 11 is CBS.
Yeah.
So.
What channel is your Fox?
Huh?
What channel is Fox for you?
13.
Oh.
It was 13 and then it became 16.
Oh, ours was always Fox 5.
Because the WB was 42. And then when the CW came, then it became 38 when the CW came around.
It's always been 11 for me. Both.
I can't remember the name of the girl I ran into at a restaurant one time until she told me, but I can remember the channels. Shows where my priorities were.
So I know a lot of the main players on the show because, like I said, I've dipped in and out of it.
See,
There's a few younger characters that I'm kind of like, who is this? And I'm trying to hear what their names are. I'm like, come on, say their name, say their name.
the one I didn't remember was on there is the guy that played Jared Banks. I watched all 5 seasons of Fuller House. Never once did I think One Life to Live.
I haven't watched Fuller House, so I don't
Oh,
know.
okay. Well, he dates DJ
Oh,
for,
really?
yeah, yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's Matt. I mean, granted,
Well, yeah, he
not,
was cute. I kept looking at him and I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm supposed to like you, but you're cute.
it was funny too. John remembers watching some of the shows, and he'll always remember Asa Buchanan. And they started off talking about Asa. He's like, is he still alive at this time? And they're like, the reading of the will. He's like, oh, never mind. Like,
Well, that doesn't mean that.
because it was like, it was just funny. I'm like, it's funny to get John's little commentary for just here and there.
So Vicky is in Paris, Texas,
which I
but
don't.
she has everybody
why.
believing she's in Paris, France, working as a waitress. And I wasn't sure if she was Vicky or is her alter Nikki.
Yes.
So I wasn't sure if that was what was going on because she was like not.
Oh no, you would be able to tell if it was Nikki.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Doesn't Jessica have an alter too? Tess.
She does. Tess.
See, I remember things.
Good work.
So then Gigi comes storming in late to work, 10 minutes late, and she's getting fired. And she's like, yeah, I love to hear watching her argue with the boss. That still has my job.
That was so funny. She did it so well. She had that like twang kind of, and she would just argue with whatever his name was. And I was like, get him.
Well, I think Farah's from Kentucky, so I think
okay, so it works.
Jump into that, yeah. Yeah, I just thought it was really funny because he's like, you're fired. And then he, like, literally less than a minute later, he's like, I'm docking you for those 10 minutes. And she's like, guess I still have a job.
And it's like she doesn't even care. Like, oh, whatever.
He's like firing her and she's still putting the apron on. So right away, I thought she came in like a pro. She handled herself great.
Came in like a firecracker. She... like she'd been on that show for years. Yeah. And that was just another day.
It almost had me thinking, is this the right day? Did I miss something? Because she just came in like she had always been there. And I was like, no, I guess that's just how they introduced the character.
I can't remember why Vicky was in Paris, Texas. I don't remember that. Like I had to go back. I couldn't remember how Jessica and Natalie were actually like there. She was calling them the twins. And I was like, I didn't remember how I knew they were sisters, but I didn't remember how they were sisters. So I had to go and research that.
Yeah, I vaguely remember. I remember when Natalie first came on, and wasn't she? I think she was friends with Marcy.
Possibly.
And then Marcy came to town also.
For it to be 2007, like Marcy, like they talked about gay couple getting married, all that. I was like, I didn't realize One Life to Live was so far ahead of the game.
Well, I mean, Ryan Phillippe played a gay character in '92.
True.
On One Life to Live.
But even though I know it's 2007 then, but just to hear her openly talk about like, oh, my brother's wedding, it was gorgeous, it was fabulous, it was wonderful.
Well, I don't know if you paid attention to the credits at all, the writing credits, but Ron Carlivati was writing.
I knew he was a writer on there at one point. I didn't know for sure when.
I don't know if he was the head writer yet, but he was definitely on the writing team because I clocked his name when I was watching Friday's episode. I was
there was a time when he and Dina Hagley, how are you saying? Were on at the same time. I was just like, let's not discuss her. Nothing against her as a person, but.
So Jared was living with Jessica
Nash, and Natalie,
and they wanted him out. So they were doing everything they could. They were like playing children's music. They had like a children's party at the apartment. And he ended up going to the Buchanan mansion. And I'm assuming that's Asa's widow that he was
Yes.
talking to,
Yes.
who said that he reminded her of Asa in his younger days. So she invited him to come live at the mansion.
And what a fun way to say, you're probably the child of my husband. Get ready for that reveal.
Right?
If anytime they say, you look so much like, okay, it's coming.
But wasn't he on a date with a Buchanan and they
He
kissed?
was. They did. And I'm pretty sure he is a Buchanan. I know. I don't like when they do that. Even when it's like they don't know. I'm like, eh.
I mean, I know that it probably could happen in real life, but it's not as common as you think, and I wish soaps would stop doing it. Well, I haven't seen it recently, so don't do it. Don't go back to that.
I knew someone who they went on a date, and then they were talking about one of their relatives, and they're like, wait, this girl realized distantly she was related to that person's like grandma or something. She's like, last date ever. She never told him why. She never said why.
Oh, really? She wasn't like, hey, so go on Ancestry.
I don't remember how it came about. I just remember be like, no, I couldn't. No, I think they were supposed to have a date, but she canceled it when she found out. And I was like, good call.
We have Marcy on the run with a baby that is, I'm assuming, Todd's biological son.
Yes,
that she adopted, maybe illegally or somehow obtained illegally. I don't know.
I'm not sure. My big memory of her storyline is I remember when her and Al were together, and somehow Al died, but his spirit
brought the actor back as somebody else.
Well, his spirit went into a McBain's body, and the actor then played that character.
But she's not seeing him looking
like she still thinks Al died, but like people got crazy.
Yeah,
when
I remember that outrage. Michael Easton is his brother, John McBain. He came on here after Poor Child ended, years before this,
and they excuse me. I remember them pushing Natalie and I just know him as McBain.
John McBain
as a couple. I liked her with the other guy, which I think the guy she was kissing on at the table.
What? Wait, who? Christian?
Yeah, they were a couple.
Okay, I forgot about Christian. When I saw David Fumero, that's the actor, I was like, oh, Christian, I love Christian.
I did the same thing. I went, whew, girl, keep on
when kissing. They showed him at the bar, I was like, oh my God, I love Christian so much.
I remember
even his brother, Antonio, when I saw him, I was like, oh my God, I love this family.
It made me remember the Ford family?
The Ford family.
Very, very, I can't think of it. Maybe his name was Ford. His name may have been Ford. Yeah, on the show.
No.
Had abs for days.
Really?
Yes. Could have washed clothes. I can't remember, but the fans will know who I'm talking about. You can't forget it. He was so adorable.
So Marcy's on the run. She's just ready to give up her husband, her marriage, for the baby. She took her wedding ring off. Okay, when she burned that letter on the table at the diner or wherever she was, I was like, who does that? Who set the letter on fire on the table and then just leaves the tip and leaves the paper burning? What if the money would have caught on fire?
She's girl on the run. Girl on the run. She didn't have time.
She could have set it on fire outside at least and like thrown it like on the parking lot floor. She left it on the table at the diner. Oh, soap operas.
Love them.
So then she gets to her destination, which is a bar. So she's in a bar with a baby. Yeah.
On
And
Halloween.
at first I was like, why is everybody in costumes? And then I realized it was October. So I'm like, oh, Halloween.
Well, I was kind of like, for Halloween and this to be a gay bar, it's kind of empty.
It was early. So that story pretty much ends the week on the cliffhanger because the police come in looking for her, asking, have you seen this woman? And she's literally like on the other side of the bar with the baby.
I love how, and just with the book, like playing with the book with Aaron, well, Tommy, Aaron, whatever. Oh, how funny. Tommy Aaron.
His name's Aaron?
Well, she changed it to Aaron. His name's Tommy, but she changed it to Aaron. How funny.
I didn't even put that together. I heard Tommy because I was like, oh, Tommy.
I just put it together now. But I like how Todd, like, do you remember this? Told the cop, do you remember this woman? Showed her a picture. No, takes a Sharpie, marks up, makes the hair black, put on some glasses. Her, she looks vaguely familiar. I was like, good God, Todd.
So every time I've watched the show, I can never tell if Todd's supposed to be a villain or not. Like, are we supposed to root for him? I know him and Blair are a popular couple.
They are, and they have a very complicated backstory.
Is Blair like the good one out of the two of them that kind of changed him for the good, but he still has evil tendencies?
I'm gonna compare them to Sammy and EJ.
Okay.
Like, they're not necessarily, I mean, not necessarily bad, but not necessarily good, I guess. Blair, I think's pretty, you know, I think she was just like a little wild child.
I remember seeing, like, when I first got SoapNet, seeing Star as like maybe like an 8-year-old.
Oh my God, yes.
And then
it was like overnight they soared her, but they didn't because it was real life.
She grew up. And then I remember either watching or seeing promos for her being pregnant, and I was like, what? She's 8 years old. Like, what are you talking about?
I remember that. So
then I wasn't sure what was happening because I know that you had mentioned a baby switch that had gone over from All My Children to One Life to Live or vice versa. And I wasn't sure if this baby was involved in that.
No, it was Bianca's baby and Babe's baby.
And then I know Star gets pregnant, but I'm not sure if she keeps the baby or not. And I wasn't sure if this was Todd's baby or if this was Star's baby and he was going after his grandchild.
No.
And he said, I'm the father. So
yeah, I was going to say, this was his child. I'm not sure how it's his child.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you watched One Life, they bring back the original Todd later. We learn this Todd isn't Todd.
That I remember towards the end, right?
Yeah. See, I don't know all my One Life to Live history. I know just parts of it because I enjoyed the show.
I want to continue.
Because I remember, like, you remember when SoapNet would do on the weekends all 5 episodes at once?
Yeah.
I would sometimes just turn it over and just let it play.
Really?
Well, I did. I did other stuff. So.
Gotcha.
Because I remember the musical. They did a musical episode. Freaking loved that episode.
Didn't they also do like a couple of live episodes?
That I don't know.
I think I remember there being live episodes.
We haven't really talked much more about Gigi though.
She really didn't do much. She made her grand entrance. She mostly just fought with her boss. She was really nice to Vicky.
I love when she bought everyone lotto tickets, and her reasoning for buying them is, every week someone wins. One of those weeks, it's got to be me. Every time we travel anywhere, I always go, "Ooh, let's get a lotto ticket," because let's be those people everyone gets mad at for winning their state lottery, because it's like, that's my state lottery. Nah, they don't even live there. It doesn't work, but
And then she offered to like let Vicky borrow money, and I'm like, girl, you don't have money. What are you gonna give her?
I'm interested to see why Gigi goes back to Laneville, because I don't know why.
Gigi mentioned having a son,
Hmm.
and I think I know that it somehow is Rex's son. Is that right?
She ends up with Rex, or her and Rex are a couple for a good time.
But this isn't his biological son.
It could be.
They don't have like a past or something.
I mean, it's a soap. I'm sure they have a past.
Well, now I'm more excited to find out how this happens. And I'm not going to Google it. I'm just going to watch it.
So, but yeah, I thought fine entrance. Good 3 episodes. I was invested in all the story. I mean, I know we didn't talk much about the Langston and
I was just about to
foster
get into that.
care.
So Langston looks familiar, and I don't know why. I don't know if I've seen her in other things. But she's a friend of
she's been in
Star's.
something. Her parents died a year ago. She pretended they were just away on vacation.
So where has she been living?
Probably, I guess, at her house.
Oh.
I don't know how she pulled it off. That would be something I would, want to know.
Yeah.
But
So
she
now
was
I
in
guess
foster care.
Child Protective Services wants to put her in foster care.
Mm-hmm.
And
Dorian feels
Dorian,
bad.
I guess, has taken a liking to her and wants to wants Blair to be her foster mother.
Yeah, I don't know why Dorian can't just be her foster mother. There could be backstory there, but Blair was adopted. Dorian feels guilty because she wasn't there for Blair sooner.
Okay.
So
now, how are Blair and Dorian related? Are they sisters, cousins?
I think that's her aunt.
It's her aunt. Okay.
I believe so. I'm not sure how the family tree for them works, but.
And I know there's a Kelly Kramer because I know Heather Tom played her,
Mm-hmm.
but Gina Tonioni played her before that and after.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's who the big baby switch when Heather Tom was on One Life to Live. That's during that time.
Oh, okay. So now who is Kelly Kramer? Is she Blair's sister?
That I don't know. I just know she's
daughter.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, I'll look it up.
Because, yeah.
All right, so I got a lot to learn, and we're gonna watch and learn things.
And you only got one life to live to learn it in. I love when people work in this, anytime days is all the days of our lives. I'm like, yes. It's cheesy, but I love it.
I remember the opening credits though. I remember when all the soaps on ABC had that similar opening. It was just the cast and a photo shoot kind of.
I love that. We need to make an intro like that. Just just turning around, smiling.
Just want to whip your head around.
So did they do that little slow walk across their arms? I laugh because I love it.
Me too. But
if I was ever cast in a soap opera and they were like, "Oh, it's time to do the intro," I'd be like, this is everything. They probably think I was lying. I'm like, no, I've dreamed for this moment.
We saw Nora, played by Hilary B. Smith, for 5 minutes.
For 2, yes.
We also saw Beau and Clint. So Beau and Clint are brothers. So I'm assuming they're Ace's sons.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm assuming that child is Beau and Nora's.
Yes,
son.
Matthew. Yeah, Matthew's their child.
It was so good to see certain faces. I was excited to see Hilary B. Smith. I was excited to see Cassie DePaiva because she's become integral to the Days family since One Life to Live went off the air.
She's our Eve Donovan.
Mm-hmm. I hope she comes back soon.
Oh, I do too.
I was also excited to see Robin Chaucer because my first exposure to her was as Hecuba on Passions.
Okay.
I didn't know that she was a somebody.
That was probably
Until
my first exposure to, I'm thinking.
hmm
Because I didn't I mean, yeah, I didn't get into One Life to Live till the early 2000s.
and she's on Knots Landing for a little bit, and I always thought she looked familiar, and I couldn't tell why. And then I remember I looked it up, and I was like, "That's Hecuba," and oh my god, she's on One Life to Live.
I didn't realize she was on Passions for quite a while.
Yeah, I actually thought about that when we were watching these. I'm like, I wonder how long it was before this that she left Passions. Like maybe a couple of years. But I guess that's all that really happened in 3 episodes. I mean, it is a soap opera. Not much can happen in 3 episodes. But pretty eventful week, and it made me want to watch more.
Me too.
So we're definitely going to have to do that and maybe cover a full week. And
Agreed.
yeah, so what's going on? What's coming up for us? We're going to go back to classic Bold and the Beautiful on Monday. We're going to watch episodes 31 to 35, right? That's where we're at.
Yes.
Okay. And then Wednesday, as always, is Tomorrow's a New Day.
Episode 4, which our very own Tommy has a part in there.
I keep forgetting. And then Thursday, we're going to continue our Sunset Beach coverage because Aaron's very excited about Sunset Beach.
I am so excited about Sunset Beach. Oh my gosh. we might be doing a lot more Sunset Beach for a while. No.
It's going to be a regular thing because we're going to watch the whole thing. It was only 3 seasons.
Yeah, 755 episodes.
Yeah, that's nothing. That's a drop in the bucket for a soap
I was
opera.
going to say, in a soap, that's nothing.
On soaps that have like 7,000 episodes, 755, that's like 3 months. What else do we have going on? Oh, don't forget to go to patreon.com/queersandsoaps and subscribe, where you can get early access to Tomorrow's a New Day and the after show before everybody else, as well as Patreon exclusives. This past week, we did the pilot of Savannah. We have Knots Landing Season 4 on there. We have Falcon Crest on there.
Which those segments have special names. Our Falcon Crest segment, what is it called, Tommy?
Don't Touch My Grapes.
Mm-hmm. And our Knots Landing one is called the Abbey Scale.
Mm-hmm. And then Savannah falls under our Gone Too Soon segment, which I'm sure if you guys have been watching us, you know what that is. It's the canceled soaps of the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s. So yeah, we're having fun covering everything.
I know, it's a trip down memory lane for me.
We keep circulating what we're watching because we don't want to get burnt out on one thing. So we're just gonna keep on chugging.
Mm-hmm.
So until Monday when we cover Bold, have a great weekend, guys, and we will see you then. Bye.
Bye.